Welcome to an experimental podcast called The Active Draft with myself, Adam James Proud, and my co-host, Mr. Heywood Taylor.
Hello.
And the whole premise of this is we both have our individual shows, but we want to do something a bit different. And me and Heywood have become good friends. We talk a lot of absolute nonsense.
Yes.
But we also, there's some things on our shows, mate, that we can't always discuss with each other. Is everything okay with the audio levels? We good? We're good. There's some things on the show that we can't discuss, well, we don't discuss with the guests that we get on. So this is our chance to share with the world some of our inner thoughts, some things that is more bro talk than, I guess, question and answer, so to speak. So I've got a few topics that I wrote down that I know Heywood can speak comfortably on, things that we have probably spoken about in the past. So, and the name of the active draft is because none of us are perfect. We are always evolving.
Progress.
We're always evolving, we're always growing, and we're always trying to strive to be better.
I want to apologise before we begin if I'm a bit chaotic, because I'm very excited with this podcast, because I produce podcasts a lot for clients, and things have to be done prim and proper, and I rarely actually get to go in front of the microphone myself.
Yeah.
And so now I just feel like I'm being let loose, Adam.
I'm going to let you loose. If we get cancelled, it's probably going to be your fault.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
It's really going to be your fault. Yeah.
And I was saying just before we started how you're super hyper organized and I'm like a bit of chaos, but actually
it works
as you said, you wrote some things down.
Yeah, well, normally obviously for the podcast that I do, the Above Average podcast, and it is normally I have 22, 23 questions. I know it's a random number, but I have that level of questions written down and I guide the guest through. But with this, I was like, let's have a topic and let's just riff on it, because people listen, I want them to feel like a third member of a conversation.
I noticed that when I was on your podcast that there was no awkward what do we talk about next moments. You knew what we were doing and where we were going.
Yeah.
Whereas when I do my podcast, often it's like, cool, let me have a quick think about what we're going to talk about next.
Sometimes that's better that way, though. Sometimes that's better. But I think once we get into the nitty gritty, I mean, you said obviously you're excited about this. You can feel the excitement. Me, I haven't had a conversation all day. Well, I had a brief one with someone outside. That was like it, because I've been in the office by myself working and stuff. So this is like the first conversation that I've had. So I'm either going to word vomit or I'm going to be quite reserved.
I've been hanging out with a 6-year-old all day, so I'll let you know how you did. I went down from there.
I don't think I can live up to a 6-year-old. But so the first topic that I wanted to talk about is something that I heard actually mentioned. I believe it was Ty Lopez. Are you familiar with Ty Lopez? No. Do you remember years ago, and I'm talking maybe 2012, when YouTube ads were probably just becoming a thing, and there was this guy that was standing with a Lamborghini in his garage?
Yeah.
And he was like, here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini. Do you remember that? Have you seen that?
No.
There's people listening going, what the fuck? But basically, he blew up on YouTube ads and stuff like that. But he's very skilled in the mindset game and the business game. And I heard him talking about two concepts. One was the hunter, and one was the architect. And when he explained what each of them were, I was like, oh, okay, so in life you'll flip between the two. So the hunter's someone who's kind of always looking for something new, exciting, shiny. You know, there's people that have always got a new business idea, and then they talk about it all the time. They try to do something about it, and then they disappear off the grid for 9 months, come back with another business idea, and then another and another. Or they're always in the next relationship, the next partner, Whereas the architect's someone who finds something and builds. Just one or two things and just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. So I'm curious what your take on that sort of is and where you would think you would fit with that, actually.
It's interesting because I feel like I've been both of those. Because it seems like, just from what you're saying, the hunter is someone who's super enthusiastic about the next shiny thing, but also wants to share that with everyone, almost maybe from an ego side. Yeah. And then they might attempt to do it and then it might not work. And then they want to do something else.
Well, that's fine if it doesn't work.
I've definitely been that person.
Yeah.
But then I think maybe when you get to a point when you're like, oh, actually, I don't want to do all these things for other people and for the bravado of it all, then what's it called? The architect.
Yeah.
Then I feel like that's who I'm definitely intentionally trying to be now, because I have projects that I am excited to do, but I'm not sharing it out to everyone like I would have done before, because ultimately you've just got to fucking do it.
Yeah, but it's interesting because I'm like, where do I sit with these things? Because I've always done a lot of, or at least tried to build a lot of things. I've always tried to find something and go, right, let's either do it really, really, really well, or just burn it to the ground and move on. And it's not to say that if you're an architect, you don't fail. and you just constantly build on shit that's just falling, you know, like trying to polish the brass on the Titanic that's going down. It's not like that, but it's like the hunter is someone that is constantly looking for the next thing. And I think social media isn't helping with that, because it's like you're constantly fed of new ideas, new things you should be doing. If you're working this, you should be doing it this way, and hopping from trend to trend, but not actually ever getting anywhere, just feeling like, you know, this could be the next thing, or this is the thing that I was meant to do. I finally found the thing. But
social media is a fucker though, because if you're starting a new business, you might be doing, your business might not have anything to do with social media. It might be completely irrelevant to social media. And then quite quickly you realize the power of having social media for your business.
Yeah.
And then you get kind of sucked into having to be a content creator.
Yeah, everyone has to be. I think
doing social media, and then suddenly you've got this other business on the side which has all its, you know, pitfalls. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, we've been in the. I mean, you've been in the YouTube game as well. Like you've done videos for years and stuff. The same as me, and I think if you're a business in the modern day, or even just want to promote, I don't know, a charity, maybe you run a charity or something like that as well, or you do events or something like that, you have to be a face, you know. I think a personal brand is important, and I think that, you know, it's one of the things that you either commit to and understand that you have to in order to grow a business or grow a personal brand or something like that, you have to be on social media.
Have you had, over the years, any projects which you've just kept to yourself, like quietly doing in the background, or do you kind of lean towards, you know, sharing it before you've actually started doing it?
No, I don't tell people stuff. I keep things very close to the chest. Like people will know when I want them to know, kind of thing. Like I don't.
So is that intentional that you?
Yeah. Like I like my privacy, and I think even what I post on social media now is all curated. Like it's all reels or the occasional cool stuff that I do, or like a coffee picture or something like that. It's never like the intimate details of my life and who I'm around or whatever, or my family and things like that. Like I like that level of privacy, and I think when it comes to social media, you should be allowed that level of privacy. I think too many times people want to be involved in everyone else's life, and I get it, because it's fun. It's fun to see what everyone else is doing, but like, or to get validation for what you're doing. But I don't think I think it ruins a lot of people. They start living for the gram and not for the life that's actually out there.
Yeah, I think it's difficult, isn't it? It's like I said before, if you end up having to do social media, and then I've seen it with people that I've worked with, like we're doing social media because it's good for business, and then social media becomes the business.
Yeah.
And then they kind of like all those fucking pitfalls of like you caring too much. It's like we need the social media to make the business better, but we shouldn't care about social media at the same time for our own, like, you gotta kind of be able to distinguish the two.
It also depends what you're on, but I think a lot of going back to the hunter and architect thing, like if you are a gym, for example, I think you should post gym content and maybe the occasional comedy thing, right? But if you're a gym and all you post is pure comedy stuff just to get the follows, just to follow the trends, just to see what the next thing that's going to get you 100,000 likes or whatever is, I don't think that's the best way to do it. I think
if it gets sales though?
If it might get sales, but what I'm saying is that it's like, are you just chasing the trends because you get the followers, or are you actually being purposeful in the way you help people? Because you might get the followers, doesn't always translate to business. As you'll know, like a lot of followers doesn't always mean the business is doing well, or the person, if it's a person, doesn't mean they're happy. You know, just because they've got a lot of people watching what they do doesn't mean what they do is actually worth watching. Yeah. I know that sounds strange, but like you could be a local person or a local business, and you could have 1,500 followers, and your business could be booming.
Yeah, depending.
I don't follow every restaurant that I go to on social media. I don't follow every gym that I've been to on social media. I don't feel the need to. I just go do the thing, eat the food, and go. But I think for a lot of people now, it's a case of like they'll just follow trends or flashy things because it's what everybody else is doing. But I would argue if you can stick to something that you genuinely love, not just because it gets you validation, that's when you move into the architect stage of your life, where you're actually trying to. It's like, imagine like you one day, like, I mean, you've got a daughter, right? So I don't have kids, but it's like, imagine like the excitement of having a kid and then just going, actually, this kid's boring now. I'm gonna go find a new one. Fuck this. Do you know what I mean? That's
sometimes they are.
But that's how most people treat their hobbies or things that they want to start up. The moment it gets hard or a little bit boring or they have an off day, they just bounce onto something new. And I'm like, because you're bombarded with opportunities in this modern day and age, I think it's very difficult for someone to actually become an architect, stick to something and build it out. I mean,
there's definitely something very exciting about when you've figured out how to hack the system so that your job is your passion as well.
Yeah.
If you're enjoying your work, so that, because I've had this conversation with people before when we're trying to grow their businesses and stuff. And I'm like, but what is it all for? Like, is the goal to get really successful, make loads of money? And if it is, that could be 20, 30 years. And then are you really going to feel satisfied? It's the process, man. It's always the process.
Yeah.
That's where the trick is. Like, if you can enjoy the process, you've won. You've won before you've even become successful, right?
Yeah, man.
But I think the majority of people aren't happy doing what they're doing because a lot of people are doing something just out of necessity.
Well, it's like if
the world's fucked.
It is, but if you look at, like, I think it's Simon Sinek does I think it's the Golden Circle in the book called Start With Why.
Right.
And it's like anyone should do this exercise. Anyone watching or listening should do this, where you sit down and you go, why do I do this job, for example? And you say, well, it gives me money. And it's like, okay, what do you need the money for? And then you break it down even further. Do you just need it to live? Does it fund something that you actually enjoy? And then why do you enjoy doing that thing? And you break down all the reasons why you do these different things in areas of your life. And sometimes you realize, actually, I don't know why the fuck I'm doing this. You look at it and go, why am I doing this? Like, I don't actually like, this does not benefit me in any other way other than like the base level money, for example. And I mean, obviously money makes the world go round. You need money. I'm not against working for money, but there has to be, in order for you to not go 20, 30 years down the line in the same job, hating it every day, you have to take a look and say, could I do something else?
You know what's crazy? Like, I've met people who they're making good money from a job that they hate doing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, but what do you enjoy doing then? Like, you've got the funding to start something on the side. So if you're in a position where you've got a job that you hate, but you're making decent enough money, start doing the thing you love on the side.
Yeah.
And then start like teetering the scales the other way. And you've seen it before. Then at some point you make the sacrifice, or you take the risk, right? Go part-time on the job that I hate and go part-time on the job that I love, and take the cut in pay. And for people that are working on minimum wage, doing something that they hate, like, find something that you love to do as well and do it. Just spend those extra hours in the day when you're not working on that thing.
Yeah. If it works out.
It's not actually hopeless as it might seem.
Yeah. The only time it becomes more complex is if you are in one of those jobs where your work comes home with you. So like there's a few jobs like that where you sort of take these things home. Like, for example, if you're a teacher, it might be very difficult, not impossible, but very difficult for you to branch out, because once you leave the school, you take all the marking with you, you take all that shit home till about 8 o'clock at night. That's going to take up, that's your evenings, you know? So that, in that situation, it's hard.
That's fucking hard.
But in most cases,
and then you add some kids and a family. And
exactly,
it's like, okay,
exactly. Responsibilities and stuff. And I mean, obviously, you could have your weekends, you know, but then it's like, are you willing to sacrifice those weekends for something that might not work out, but could work out later?
Imagine you have to sacrifice every weekend for a year to get to a position where you can do the job that you love just for one day a month. You started tipping the scales.
Yeah.
And then imagine in 2 years, like when I went self-employed 3 years ago, it was like, I'll take on any job that I have to do. Fuck it. Go back 5 years ago when we moved to England, right? I had no qualifications, had nothing. I was working as a cleaner in the NHS hospital in Brighton, and it was a paid job. And it was really nice people and everything, and like hats off to all of them. But I was miserable.
Yeah.
You know, I was leaving home and it was pitch dark. I was getting home and it was pitch dark. I was getting paid like dog shit. And I was I was in the basement cleaning that thing every day for 8 hours. And I was like, after 6 months, I was absolutely miserable. But I knew that this is just what I have to do now to get to the next step.
Yeah.
And then you have to keep looking. I think a lot of people, and there were people there that have been working for like 20, 30 years. I was like, what? Like, how?
Well, that's the other side of it. Man. That's the other side of it is, even if you're an architect and you say, well, I've put myself into building this career of 20 years as a NHS cleaner or whatever. It's like, you might have spent 20 years there, but were you building something that you actually gave a shit about? Or were you just built, like, what do they call it? Is it the sunk cost fallacy? Is that what they call it? Where you've put so much time into it that you don't want to back out of it. You're like too invested in it now.
Too invested.
But it's like...
it's a perspective thing though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, making those changes, man, it sometimes feels impossible in the moment, but I think you've got to do it. And I 100% believe there's some people doing those kind of jobs that love it, right? And they're happy and they're satisfied, and it gives them security, and that's what they're after. Like there were a couple that I knew there, and they were saving up to get a mortgage on a house, and they were doing extra shifts. Like they were practically living at the fucking hospital.
Yeah.
And they probably got a house now. Like I haven't got a house. Like I'm still renting, you know. Like
I think a lot of people we like to hear on these podcasts and on social media like the right way to live. I don't think there's a right way to live. I think if you can look yourself in the mirror and smile, I think then that is good enough.
I think that's the trick. It's like you gotta check in with yourself. I think so many of us don't check in with ourselves. We're on automatic. We're doing what we think we have to do. You know.
Well, there was a point last year where I remember looking in the mirror and I was like, I just looked haggard, bro. I was like fucking bags under my eyes because I wasn't sleeping properly, and I had a lot of emotional turmoil, and I'm just like, I need to do something. Yeah, I was just like, I need to change this. Something.
I love how when I move my mic, it moves.
Yeah, it does. Well. Yeah, I noticed that before. Yeah, is it just the table?
It's a professional podcast studio.
But the next thing,
so what had you been doing prior to when that realization?
It's almost like I took a step back in my brain and was just running everything on autopilot. But I'd step back because it was kind of sucky and shitty and going too fast. So my brain just went, the autopilot at the front's going to handle this. And then all of a sudden I came back to the forefront of my mind. And I was like, oh, you look like shit. You need to sort something out. You're not feeling good, bro. You need to fucking correct this.
I mean, I've been like practicing mindfulness like maybe for like a good part of 10 years. And even now I'll catch myself 2 weeks in on autopilot. And I usually realize because I've spiraled on some negative thought, right? Which I've kind of hyper focused on. And a lot of it is kind of just me theorizing bullshit. It's not real. And I'll be like, oh, wow. Like I've not been checking in with myself at all. I've just completely gone away with it. I don't know what my point is. I think just the fact that it's easily done. It's easily done. Like the society and life is so chaotic sometimes that if you don't take a moment to be like, what do I want? Like is what serves me sort of thing. You just get swept away with all of it.
Well, that's actually
You know what I mean, bro?
I like it, bro. I like it. Well, the next thing that actually brings me on to the next thing I wanted to talk about, which was another concept I'd be our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
And now our 10-minute Jesus prayer time.
Now that we've got you, we're basically at this point we are Jehovah's Witnesses in your house. That's what we are.
Jesus invented mindfulness.
Yeah. But it's like going off when I was like feeling in that shitty place. Part of my mind it just said like, I don't know where this thought came from, but it was like, just go stare into a fire. Not to throw myself in. It was just like, there was that part of my brain just went, it'd be so nice to just sit with nothing and stare into a fire like our ancestors of old used to do. And it got me thinking, like, there's small world and then there's overstimulation world, which is similar to what you just mentioned there before. So, like, if you think of, I don't know, before the age of technology, before the Industrial Revolution, you had your little homestead or whatever, you had your family, your cousins, everyone was kind of there. That was a small world. You didn't see the troubles of 2 villages down. You didn't see the wars that were going on in other parts of the world. You just had this small world. These were smaller problems. I mean, they obviously were still problems to deal with, but you didn't have to know about all the other problems in the world. You didn't have access to everyone else's life. You weren't able to open something out of your pocket and just see everybody, access to everybody. And that's what I think, you look at these like glamping pods or retreats that are making like a big thing at the minute. And it's like, because they get you away from the big world back into the small world that, we're actually evolved to handle. We're not evolved to handle this big city life.
It's one of the most unfair things about today's society, how I'm all for, like, we have to try and help our neighboring countries and issues around the world and everything should be good. Yeah. But it's so unfair at the same time because it's not how we are built to be. We are built to be in our small villages and to focus in on those next to us, right? So we're taking on all this fucking trauma, this worldwide trauma in our little old lives, and then we feel like we have to do something on top of it. And it's too much for us to fucking handle, really.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to something as well, and the guy was saying like it was very unheard of for children to suffer with anxiety back, you know, even just 50, 60 years. It was very unheard of that children just played, man. They just enjoyed stuff, you know. Why is everyone anxious now? Why is the world so anxious? And part of it was saying that we feel like something's wrong when nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
Because
we're waiting for the next thing.
Yeah.
That's how it's been since. I remember as a kid, like the news, it's just constantly perpetuating fear, and people watch the news religiously every morning.
Yeah,
it's like their little dose of death, really.
If you wake up, turn on the news, and the first thing you see is like the rape, murder, wars, bombs have been dropped. It's like great start to the day.
Yeah,
you know.
No, and now it's completely infiltrated social media as well. Like I've weaned myself off TikTok, but if I go on it, you only have to swipe a few times before it's like something in Ukraine or fucking orange cunt in America, and there's always something.
Yeah.
And then you're going like, oh wow, like we're all gonna die soon. You know, they've been talking about Third World War and fucking the Russian issues. Every time I go on TikTok, I feel like, wow,
I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna die. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it puts you in that constant state of fear.
But it's also the dopamine thing, because we hear this word around, right? And it's the chemical that's released when we smoke, drink, gamble, watch porn, have sex, you know, scroll as well, which is obviously what I want to talk about as well. It's like, I was noticing that part of my brain was really struggling to keep up. And this was just recent. Part of my brain was very cloudy, foggy. I was like, is this just because I'm nearly 30? Is this what it feels like to age? But then I was doing I like to talk to ChatGPT and Gemini. I don't use it as a therapist. I'm like, give me some practical shit. Don't let me moan. Give me some practical shit. Yeah. And it was basically saying, it sounds like your dopamine is fried. Your dopamine levels need to be reset. And I was like, okay, tell me how to reset my dopamine then. And it was like giving me things like meditation and things like that. But I was like, I've tried that. And it just feels like one more thing that I've got to slot into the day and do. Because when you sit there, you're like, I've got to breathe. I've got to bring my attention to this, da-da-da. And then it said, okay, what about just staring? And I was like, that's interesting. And it was like, basically, it's a hard reset. So meditation is like level 1 or whatever. Then level 2 steps up where you just stare. So I've got this piece of fluff that's just sat on my floor in my bedroom, right? Just a piece of fluff on the floor. And I just I started off with like 3 minutes, then 5, and then 7. Then I'm on to like 15 minutes now and just sit. And I just focus on this zone of the piece of fluff on the floor.
I mean, that's meditating.
But I don't have to breathe.
Title it, yeah.
I just force myself into boredom.
Yeah.
And you know what I found? Within the first, I think after the first 4 minutes, it's okay. But in those 4 minutes, it's like my hands twitch because they want to grab the phone. My brain's like, I'm bored. I need that hit. I need that hit of the phone. And it's
that's
like,
resetting.
But it's also got to the stage now where like people can't watch a film. Like film requires focus. That's why I love going to the cinema, because you sat there and you're like looking at the screen and you can't touch your phone. You don't talk. You don't do nothing but focus on what's going on in the film. And that's why films are so much better in the cinema than at home, because you have your phone on you and you can scroll on stuff while you or text somebody while you're like half watching it, and it's draining your ability to actually focus on something that you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, social media and processed food and sugars corrupted our dopamine levels.
Yeah.
Have you ever microdosed psilocybin mushrooms?
No, we talked about this last time, man. That's the one that you do mushrooms.
Really good for dopamine.
Is episode 2 going to be us on shrooms?
Oh yeah, I got a new batch.
That's not a bad idea, actually. That's not a bad idea. I've never touched drugs. I've never touched weed. You know, I think I tried a cigarette once. It was fucking disgusting.
It is disgusting. And the mushrooms, I'd almost not. Well, it is a drug, right? But it's as much a drug as like chocolate or sweets or sugar. Like, I would say sugar's more detrimental to your health than psilocybin mushrooms.
Well, it's supposed to open up new pathways in the brain or something, isn't it?
It helps increase neuroplasticity in your brain, so your synapses. So, for example, someone with ADHD, microdosing psilocybin can help reconnect those synapses which are broken or lacking.
Okay.
And more importantly, it can help the processing of dopamine in the brain better. So like one of the problems with the ADHD brain is that we can't regulate our dopamine very well. So we're always a little bit below dopamine. But the psilocybin fucking chemical compound is the exact fit for the for the serotonin receptor.
Okay.
So it's
That's interesting.
So like dopamine, mushroom receptor, it's an exact fit. So there's no side effect. There's nothing like going wrong there. It just fits naturally. So instead of your natural dopamine, you've got, it's not like crack. That will give you a lot of dopamine, but there's a lot going on around it, right?
Let's all do crack, folks.
Yeah. But the mushroom is the perfect amount. And that's why microdosing it is magical, right? Like, excuse the pun, because it just fits. It just makes you feel good. Yeah. And at the same time, it kind of like, it helps you look at things that maybe you've been avoiding. Yeah. Which is really bizarre.
Well, that's a lot of what, like, if you would stare into the floor or stare into a spot on the wall or whatever, your brain starts to come up with, it sort of catches up to you a bit, because if you think how often, like, when you start your day, like, what do most people do, like you said, turn on the news or whatever, however, scroll, then they get in the car, radio's blasting or Spotify's blasting or whatever, they get to work, they're bombarded, then they're sat in traffic on the way back, more music, more talking on the radio, more death, come home, family screaming, then when they go to bed, they're just like, their brain has no time to catch up. If you give it like 20 minutes to just do absolutely nothing, force it into boredom, force it to catch up with the day, you'll find that you'll go to bed with a little bit more like, I can relax now because my brain's caught up. You know
what I've been doing in the mornings now since it's been about 4 months that I've done it?
Crack.
I've got, apart from my morning crack with toast. I do.
I watch the news about the Ukraine and Russia, and I smoke some crack. It's great.
I got it's called a Remarkable, so it's like an ink tablet.
Okay.
So they're a bit like snazzy, but essentially I journal in it. You can do it with a notebook and a fucking pen. I just like to have my gadgets.
You like to be different, bro.
But every morning Bella will come in and she'll hang out, and I'll go get my tea, and then I'll journal, and it will be first thing in the morning. It's whatever thoughts are racing through my head. Some days there's nothing going on. Yeah. It's like completely chill. But it wasn't always like that, right? 4 months ago, it was like every day I've got so much in my head. And then that's my opportunity to get it all down. Yeah. And just the act of getting it all down helps you kind of processing it as you write it, right? Because it slows you down a little bit. And then it's almost like once I've written it down, I don't have to think about it anymore, which is like, it's not intentionally, but that's what happens. And because I have issues with rumination and overthinking and like kind of playing with the same thought but in different ways until I figure out an answer, which doesn't exist sometimes because it's like a theory. Yeah. Writing it out is just like, oh, cool, like done.
It gives you clarity, yeah.
It gives you clarity, and often like I figure out what I'm going to do that day that's more important than some of the other nonsense that's going on in my head. That's good though, because not everything can be a priority in your life. And not everything needs to be, right? And sometimes I'll stress about the things that aren't actually that important, business-wise, relationship-wise, or like, you know, as a dad. And that kind of just, that journaling thing just helps, man. And I only spend about 10, 15 minutes a morning doing it. And then at the end of the day, I don't do it every day, but at the end of the day, I'll write down my take of the day. So for example, tonight, like when I'm watching TV or whatever, I'll write in my ink tablet, oh, did a podcast with Adam, and the date. And so I've got like just a couple of sentences of every day from the past 4 months. Yeah. And I can look back and go, oh, fuck yeah, that was really good. Like, that was a great day. And some days I'm like, there's nothing today. Nothing happened. It was really quite boring. And I have to kind of really have to look for the little things. I was like, oh yeah, I had a really good shit at lunch. That was fantastic. You know, that
slid out so easy.
Yeah, that morning crack rock was sensational. Like, I really appreciated that bump, whatever.
It was a ghosty. You didn't even have to wipe.
Yeah, right. Like, that was fantastic. I didn't even flush the bastard. I'd share it with the fan.
I left it in there.
You know, I've done that. Snapshot.
I've done that before, bro. Have you seen that? Totally off topic. Have you seen that video of Jack Whitehall on Graham Norton where he talks about being in Spain with the shit? So he goes to a restaurant in Spain and he goes into the toilet, drops the kids off at the pool, and then like tries to flush and it doesn't go down. Yeah. And he's like, well, I can't just leave it for the next person. So he goes into the restaurant and he ushers this waiter. And the waiter doesn't speak much English. So he basically just ushers this guy into the toilet. Right. He said, no, you come with me. Takes him into the cubicle, points at his poo, flushes it, goes down straight away. So it looked like he just left this shit, grabbed a waiter, and then went, look. Yeah. I was like, fucking genius. I love it. But speaking of like the reality TV and stuff like that, have you ever watched much reality TV?
We're obsessed with it.
Really?
We're obsessed with it.
What do you watch?
So, well, I mean, over the years, we've watched, recently it's been Traitors, which I think is a more sophisticated reality TV. But like Big Brother is where it started off. What is it that the fucking Thing at First Sight? Married at First Sight?
Okay, yeah,
One of those ones. It's
I've
crap.
heard of it.
It's crap. And we love it.
But it's addictive.
And we got into a phase of watching a bunch of Australian ones as well. We've definitely done a bit of that. What's the one that's on in the summer all the time? They're on an island.
Love Island. Are you talking about Love Island?
Yeah, Love Island. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wanted to talk about as well, because I've seen a few episodes recently.
Let me get a beer. I like this one.
So there's people like listening who probably know what Love Island is. It's basically they take the worst bunch of people they can find and put them on an island and make them try and fall in love with each other. Right? That's the general premise. No, I'm good, mate. I have to drive. I can't be drinking Desperados. But I actually don't like Desperados. I don't like tequila.
Desperado.
So yeah.
Hey.
Fuck. That's one beer you've had as well, bro. But like the whole
I drink once a month.
The whole once a month when we do a podcast. So
So
it's gonna be that once a month time is gonna be when we do a podcast. Yeah, I'll bring one next time. I'll get some Corona or something really tame as fuck with a bit of lime in. But so like the whole premise of like Love Island, Married at First Sight, all these reality TV shows and stuff that just take the worst type of people and put them together. And I'm like, or like even soap operas as well annoy me, because I think I'm like, life is not like this, but it's played out as if life is. But I'm a big believer in what you watch translates into your life. It seeps into your life because you're taking this in. And I'm like, I know a lot of people that have been high drama and then also really into soap operas and reality TV.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a connection there.
There has to be.
I would argue that reality TV is more fascinating than soap operas. Soap operas? Are they called soap operas?
Yeah, like Coronation Street, EastEnders. Yeah.
I find those so fucking ridiculously boring. And I got into EastEnders at one point, and I got into Coronation Street at one point, but that you can leave for years and come back, and the same shit's happening.
Pick up where you left off. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's like I don't know. It's a very old school thing. But the reality shows are fascinating because me and Briggy will be watching it, and it's not that we're taking it too seriously, but we're dissecting everything. It's like the psychology behind what the fuck is happening. And it's, what is the word that I'm looking for? It's almost like gossip, right?
Yeah.
We're gossiping about people we don't know on TV, but it's like, I don't know, it kind of, it evokes like judgment. The fucking program is based on getting people to be judgmental. Yeah. And that in itself is a problem. Because me and Briggy, we both very intentionally try not to be judgmental, with the notion that, you know, if you are negative about other people, you feel more negative about yourself. If you're more judgmental about other people, you'll feel judgment more from other people. If somebody judges me, generally I don't care, because I am confident in myself. And that's because I work on not judging others. Yeah. All to say, the reality shows provoke you to judge them. It's designed that way because this 22-year-old dude with the six-pack is fucking off the bombshell for another, for the even bigger bombshell. And what a prick, because he lied. And it's like, what did you expect? He's 22. Why is he's not in there to find love, really? And then if he finds love, then he's the best guy in the world. Like, and then we're judging as like a 41-year-old bloke judging this 22-year-old who, you know, is mad. It's mad. It
is though, but I'm just like, why are we so addicted to watching this? Like, why do we love the drama of it? What is it? What do you think it is that attracts us to these shows? Because like, even I've like walked through the house, or whatever, and fucking Kardashians was on TV or something like that. You know, you've left the telly on too long, and like the program after the program you're watching comes on, and then you walk through and you go, and you stand there for 20 minutes watching. Like, I've seen the Kardashians, I've seen that. I find that quite interesting, purely because it's like an insanely different life. But
would you not say that the world of podcasting is like just a more refined version of reality TV shows? Because it's two normal people talking about stuff and their opinions on those.
Depends. It does depend on the podcast. Like you were saying, like Traitors. I don't really class that as reality TV. I like it. I think sounds more like a game show.
It is a game show.
Than like, I don't know, like Love Island.
It's a game show. I'd still class it as reality TV just because it taps into the same sort of shit. It's like he said, she said. And then it's like, you know, I can only relate to me and my partner, but I'll be like, oh, he did that because he's doing this. And then she'll see it a completely different way. And she'll be like, oh, no, but he actually did that because of this and this. And I go, oh, yeah, maybe. And like, none of it matters. None of it's real.
But it feels, that's the thing though.
But it does, it taps
it
into
feels like when you watch Love Island, it feels like that's how things should. Like I'm watching it and I'm going, oh, maybe I should be more like him. Like in part of my brain, I'm like, why the fuck would I want to be more like this guy?
Yeah.
What an awesome. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm like, I'm watching it and my brain is like tapping into this weird primitive spiral. And then I have to drag myself back into the reality that I live in and go, no, that's not how most people are not how this is. But I think if you grow, it's like what you repeatedly watch and repeatedly do will get into your psyche and it will play out in your life. So I'm like, I will never watch EastEnders. I will never watch Coronation Street. It's also just shit in general. It's badly acted for the first thing. But like, I think we get addicted to it because sometimes it feels like something's missing in our lives. Sometimes life becomes a little bit more dumbed down than we want it to be. Yeah. Maybe there's nothing going on at work. Maybe your friendship group's actually all settled and everyone's cool with each other. So then we go, well, this Love Island thing has got some drama. This Traitors has got some of this. Or Married at First Sight's kicking off. You know, like we don't want it to happen to us, but we like that little bit of feeling.
Yeah, we definitely like. You know what, man? Like, there's definitely something instinctive in liking to watch other people struggle on whatever level.
Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude.
Have you heard of that?
No, I like it.
So it's a German word and it means happiness at the misfortune of others.
Yeah.
Schadenfreude.
Man, so we live just outside the co-op, right? And every now and then you'll hear like a big commotion, a bang, someone shouting. It's like, they're back. You know, someone's robbing the co-op, which I'm all for. Like, I think, fuck it. Let's watch them. And then like we'll quickly look outside and we'll see like the guy working inside, like trying to kick someone in the ass, and it becomes a whole thing. And we're like looking through the peepholes, you know, we're adults and we're like looking to see the damage. And fucking loving it. It's like free entertainment.
It's like watching the fight on the school field.
You know, and I think it's all right to a point. But when it becomes your everything, you know, I personally sometimes feel a bit uncomfortable watching TV at the end of each day for more than half an hour because it's like, I could be doing something else. Like I've got things to do actually, and I'm doing this. And I sometimes think like, man, it would be so cool if other adults in the neighborhood just all got together for this hour of the day and had a chat. Do you know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be the fucking pub, because even though I'm having a drink today, like I don't actually drink that much. Yeah. But I still want to socialize in moderation.
But again, I
don't always want to be in front of the fucking screen.
It's what we were saying at the beginning, that small world versus big world.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like if you like, there's part of you that wants to sit around a fire, stare into it, or have chats with someone where there's nothing else going on. Like, when was the last time? And I'm asking this to people listening as well. When was the last time you sat with a friend and you sat opposite with a coffee or something like that and you were solely focused on being there with that person and not thinking about what you were doing next, not thinking about what you did beforehand, not what you think of doing tomorrow, not what you're having for tea? When was the last time you sat and you were like, I'm into this conversation?
Yeah, it's rare. And it's more rare that it's intentional, right? So it happens unintentionally as a dad, because I'll often take Bella to a class and then I'm waiting for her to finish the class and there'll be other parents. And that's kind of like, oh, adult time to chat. But a lot of the time you end up talking about the fucking kids, which is great and it's therapeutic. But you're right, like never that I can think of do I intentionally meet up with other adult friends to just have a chat. And I think we should. But it's become like difficult to. It's like, oh mate, do you want to go for a coffee? And then it's like, it just doesn't. It always has to be over a beer. Like there's a couple of guy friends that I know, like dads, and they've invited me to go for drinks, and it's like, I don't really want to go out on the piss.
But you want to see. I want
to social. I think you're a great dude. It's just, do we have to drink? But it's like, I don't know. Like I've done it in the past where I'm like, oh, I don't really drink, and I kind of see their eyes glaze over, and they're like, oh, all right. Because that's their only way of socializing.
Yeah. Do you know what I think it is? And I
feel like such a hypocrite doing that. No, it's fine. Because I well intend on getting a bit pissed right now.
Do you know what I think it is? And I think it's quite controversial to say as well. Yeah. That sitting with a friend, talking, just doesn't hit the spot for most people anymore because it doesn't release enough dopamine where it like you have to have a drink. There has to be a loud environment. There has to be often food involved. Now, food, fair enough, you know, social, you can eat over, you know, burger and chips or whatever like that. But like a lot of it is because it gives you that feeling of that dopamine release. And I think a lot of people now are struggling because conversation in person doesn't hit the same as a text message does.
I'll tell you what though, Adam. I'm going to give my 2 cents on this.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's the whole point, bro.
I agree with you completely, but I know like there are some people that are really good at doing what we're saying we don't do. And I think the change happens within you. You've become aware of this, and that's the fucking gift that you've been given to make the fucking change. If for anyone, for yourself, like you need to start going to other cool people that you know and be like, dude, let's go for a coffee and have a chat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you turned around to me and be like, dude, I'm in Newcastle, let's go for a coffee and have a chat, I'd be like, sweet, let's do it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we'll just chat and like normalize that shit.
Yeah.
You know? But we're cool because we found our excuse by doing the podcast.
You have, yeah, we do. Well, this is what I'm saying is like, imagine if me and you couldn't have that coffee and we had to do the podcast because it felt productive and released some sort of like energy within us. Like imagine that's how I think most people are operating, is that they can't just chill with their friend anymore without there being some sort of dopamine, like just activity or something there, like it's beers, food. Even I suppose you could count coffee, I suppose, but I don't really think there's anything wrong with coffee as opposed to alcohol. But I think for some people, the art of conversation doesn't hit the same as when they get a text message on their phone, or like, you know, the notification just comes up. Like that little hit, you don't get that from a conversation because it's long term. A conversation keeps going. Whereas if you're texting someone, that little ping, 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 it's constant little floods. Yeah. Whereas in a conversation, it's like you've got to keep going, and the whole experience gives you that buzz at the end.
If you have like an hour texting thing with someone and you're just pinging back and forth, it always feels more rewarding if you meet someone in person afterwards. It's that initial like having to do it thing which I struggle with. Like we've had friends that have invited us around for dinner, and I'm like, oh god, we've got to go for dinner with blah blah blah, and they're mates. Yeah. But I'm just it's like as soon as it gets dark, we all get into, like, me and my partner, we're both into like, right, well, that's the day done.
Yeah. You know? 5 o'clock, like, shut down. Yeah.
No, 4 o'clock in some way. 4 o'clock, day done. It's like, I wonder what that is. Well, no, sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna say that I completely understand. Like when I finish work and I go straight from work to the gym, and then I go home, and as soon as I get in, probably about 5:30, comfy pajamas around, man. It's dark outside, candles are lit, I'm comfy, you know. And I ain't nobody getting me out of these comfies, man. But like for example, I go through phases, and I don't know whether anyone else does this, but like I'll go through phases where like, because it's dark and I don't want to go out, whatever, I have to actively force myself to see people or do things. Like tonight, for example, once I'm done here, I'm gonna go pick up, you know, my best friend from work. I'm gonna go get some pizzas and we're gonna chill, old school. We're doing couch co-op games, fair, you know. Like we're not just sitting having a chat, but we will. But things like that, like I've got to, like, sometimes I find myself actively having to force myself to do. Yeah. But I think you go back, I don't know, 10, 15 years, did people really have to force themselves as much to see their friends?
No, you'd crave it.
Yeah.
Like, when's the next time I've seen you, bro? Yeah. Social media, for sure.
Because you're constantly connected. Because I feel like you're constantly connected. You don't feel that distance from anyone anymore. You feel distance from humanity. But, like, if it's like I can text my best friend all day, every day. And I go, oh, fuck, it's been 2 months since I saw you.
Yeah, yeah.
But because I haven't had that distance between my brain going, well, you're communicating with them.
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't need to see you.
I never thought of it like that. It's true. I mean, I've got some mates I haven't seen for years, but we chat on WhatsApp every now and then.
Well, I was talking the other day about like dating and stuff like that. Like, you know, in old movies and stuff where it's like they call the house phone. Like, you couldn't just text them. Like, imagine how good it was to wait for that person to call you. Yeah. And you weren't in constant communication.
Yeah, now you fucking now if someone calls you without letting you know, you don't
like how fucking you watch your ring out and then go, sorry, missed your call, you know?
You know what I wish we could normalize? Because this is what I think with the way that my brain is, I wish that I could sometimes go to a mate's house for like 15 minutes and then just leave and it not be weird. Because everything has to be like, oh, we'll have a dinner and we'll do a thing and it will take hours. And it's like, I have like some background anxiety when I go somewhere that if I can't leave when I want to, I really want to leave.
Yeah,
and
I get that.
But if I can leave whenever I want, like I probably won't want to leave that quick. And I wish we could normalize being like, hey, just come around, having a chat. How you been? You good? Ooh, I'm gonna go now. Like I'm done.
You got to give a time restraint on it. You go, oh, like mate, like I've got to go do this thing tonight, but I've got like 45 minutes. Yeah. Like I can swing by for a coffee. It'd be nice to see you. Yeah. And then at least you've set that time frame where you're like, you know,
set
whatever.
the expectations.
Or you even, if it depends how close you are to these people, you could even just say like, let's make it a thing. Like, you know, once a week. We have half an hour where like we don't go over this half an hour. We set a timer, put a kettle on, we blitz it out, and then we both just fuck off because then at least we see each other. We've had a conversation. I mean, granted, you could then, you know, like if you can see them for longer, see them for longer. But like,
it's difficult because I guess because we're kind of new to the area. Like everyone that we've met is relatively new, so we haven't got any of those like known them for 10 years. We really know what they mean, sort of thing. So like there's some people where they're like, oh, you know, our doors are always open, just come in whenever you want. And it's like, without putting it in the calendar 3 weeks before, like without booking it, without letting you know, literally just come in. And it's like, I would never do that. And they might be completely open to it. Like that's old school, right? That's how it used to be.
Small world. Yeah, small world.
It's like just walk in, doors open and like hang out.
Yeah.
And I love that. I would never want anyone to do that to me.
Yeah, but you love the ability to do that.
Because if someone was to rock up at my house now and be like, oh, hey, thought I'd just come in for a cup of tea, I'll be like, no.
No, get the fuck out.
I'm not ready. And I'm sure it's some mental health shit, but like...
So, funny story. So my best friend used to, for most of our lives, I think he became my best friend when we were about 7 or 8. And for most of our lives, he lived 2 doors down from me.
Nice.
Which was unbelievable. If you've got a best friend that lives that close, it's amazing. And I remember like I used to stay up late playing video games and then get up at like midday or something when I was younger, you know. And I remember once I came down, fuck knows what time it was, and I came downstairs and my dad was out, my mum, everyone was out of the house. And I just came down and he was just sat reading my dad's newspaper in the chair with a cup of tea that he made. And he was like, hey, bro, nice to see you.
That's fucking awesome.
And I was like, I'm going to get some breakfast and then I'll be with you. And it was just, hang out. But there was none of this, why are you in my house? I was just like, I like that you just are here.
I love that. You're super lucky to have that. That's a really beautiful thing. I had a similar thing with a friend that we're not really friends now, but we definitely were then. It was about 14, 15, and it was one summer. And granted, like a lot of it revolved around smoking weed and playing video games, but I think I stayed with him for about a month. And it was like wake up in the morning, do a bong, like figure out where I am. Oh, I'm at Thing's house. Go into the living room and he's there playing Sims, like, and we just carry on where we left off. Yeah. And it was like just a really hazy but beautiful thing.
I love that though, that you've had that though, because you would rarely find that now. You rarely find that now. But it's like I watch films like American Pie and stuff like that. I know they're like really piss take comedies, but like that level of like brotherhood and best friendness. Like, have you been watching like Stranger Things recently? Like Stranger Things has just finished. And did you watch Stranger Things?
No, I saw the first.
So it's all set in like the 80s and stuff. Like if you've seen the first season, you know. But they're all like pure bros. Like, they just go around each other's houses. All the moms know each other. Like I feel like that's slowly like you don't get that now. You know, like I miss like. I'm a big gamer, and I've said this on. If anyone follows me, they'll know that I play games like fucking all the time. No games now are couch co-op. No games are like where you can sit on one TV and play next to each other. It's very, very rare that you'll find that. Yeah, and it's all
and that's
on.
What it
used
to be.
Online. Yeah, you used to have to go around your mates. Sometimes buy 2 copies.
What game console did you grow up on? Like in your teens?
Xbox. So I got my first Xbox when I was 6, but I grew up with my cousin playing my cousin.
6?
Yeah, it was
what a great console to grow up on.
It had I remember. I think I've still got the box in the loft somewhere. It was Halo and Midtown Madness were the 2 games that came with. Yeah, it's like in a package.
Halo
deal.
was a revolution, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I missed the whole thing, but
I'm gonna play it tonight.
They've revamped it, haven't they? They've done like
many times. Many times, yeah. But like that's what I'm saying. That we're slowly being pushed away from that social aspect of things, and it's now all online. It's all like, I just there's a void there and I don't think it's ever gonna get fixed. I think it's gonna get worse.
I don't know. I've got hope on it. Just to go back, I grew up on the N64, right, as a teenager, and it was Mario Kart, 4 players in the same fucking room, or it was like GoldenEye. Like,
yes, split screen. Yeah.
All 4 of us in the same room, and you miss something because when you're all there, you're like, there's a physical component.
Stop screen watching.
Yeah. There's like exactly. There's a thing to it. I really believe that it's going to do a full circle. I think people are just like you're saying. People are craving the human interaction, and it'll soon be like going back to split screen in the room. And imagine
I hope so.
Now split screen will be fucking awesome. You've got really cool screens that you can do it on.
Like we used
VR. Let's do VR, but in the same room.
On the shitty little TVs,
I know.
man.
You
like
had this
4
much
screens.
space.
Yeah. Like
space.
my phone screen is bigger than the screen I had to play split screen on. Yeah. And it's just like, I think the only way it gets better is if you actively seek out to make that a thing. When I want to get a full gaming setup and a games room and everything, and then I'm gonna have people over, and it's gonna be like old school. Like they used to do, like, remember LAN parties? People are saying, what the fuck's a LAN party? Remember LAN party, local area network party? So it was like you get like 20 people and all their PCs in one sort of like lab room, all connected up, because that's how you had to play. There was very, very little like. It was all like PCs. There was no consoles that had like live until like the Xbox era kind of thing. But it's like everyone used to bring their stuff and all used to connect together as wires everywhere. There's no famous photo. If anyone can go and find it, is like this guy's like taped to the ceiling so we can see the fucking. It's just nuts, man. Yeah. But like I do miss that social aspect, and I think a lot of us are craving that. Just being close to someone again without feeling the need that they've got to be somewhere else or something else takes priority.
Yeah, it's funny because the gaming world and like playing online, for a lot of people that is like their whole social thing, and in some ways they're more sociable than others that aren't gaming, right? Because what's the equivalent of people that aren't going out socializing, doing stuff? If you're just watching fucking TV, then you're having no social interaction.
Yeah,
you know.
Other than you phone pinging, that's what is classed as social interaction.
Yeah, it's the worst one, isn't it? Really.
But it's like, I remember, like, and I don't like to bring up other clips that I've seen and whatnot, but like, there was one I remember seeing, and it was like, imagine if you went out with a girl for a few months, right? And then she broke it off with you, you were heartbroken.
Bitch.
And yeah, exactly. And you just went
back.
No one breaks Heywood's heart. He breaks the heart. But and you couldn't just.
It happened once.
See it happen on social media. You didn't have access to, she was just gone. And you didn't have access to all these other partners that you could have had, right? Yeah. All you knew was the people at work socializing, and you would have to go up and speak to someone at a bar. That was how you met people. If you couldn't see your ex-girlfriend every day online, how much deeper would you make that relationship?
I've experienced this, right? Like
I
got Facebook at 22.
Yeah.
Like my world wasn't all socially connected until I was in my 20s.
I mean, I was born in 1996, but like when I was in school, it was MSN, Messenger, and stuff like that. And Facebook was just becoming a thing. But like, it's like, imagine if you couldn't see that person that you want to date with on Instagram or Facebook ever again, or
it's unnatural.
Like or you couldn't replace them instantly with some other slide into the DMs.
How much longer does it take to get over a messy breakup, or even let's say a messy breakup? It ended the way you didn't want it to end. It hurt. Mm-hmm. How much longer does it take to get over that if you can check their fucking socials every day?
It just drags it out, man.
And it drives you mad.
Yeah.
Especially if you're an overthinker anyway, and then you're like looking at this and watching that. Oh man. Do you remember when Facebook, it used to be a thing to write like your status?
It still is, bro. It still is.
When people write like a little, do people still do it?
It now says what's on your mind, obviously, for your thoughts.
Do people still write a little like what they think?
Yeah, man. But it's.
I used to put so much like pride in my ridiculous two sentences.
Mine was like the horrible like short form text Or it was, instead of don't, it was DNT, or would was WUD. And you're like, or like the XD emoji, the little lowercase x and a capital D for a cartoon laughy
But
face.
now they abbreviate words to just a letter, right? Like you have whole sentences and...
I don't even know. I'm too... I've seen these recent episodes of Love Island, like a few of them, and like
They
one
speak
of the
like
girls...
that as well.
I was like, I'm too old for this now because I don't understand any of the lingo. Like they were going like, oh, charge it. I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, oh, I can't. I'm too old for this shit, man.
Yeah. But that's the nature of young people anyway. They always have their own terminology. And like that's also the nature of getting older, is when you kind of go, oh, I can't. It's just because you're out of the loop. Yeah, and that's partly because you're not as like socially active with your age group as the teens and the early 20s.
I've got to the age now where if I'm going home at like 10:30 after seeing some friends in Newcastle in the middle of town, and everyone's coming out into town to do their nights out and stuff like that, I'm going around going, what, you must be cold wearing this. That dad brain is kicking in around like, you must be cold wearing that, or like, that shirt does not suit you, son. Do you know what I mean? Like my brain's doing this weird sort of thing that it never did before.
What I find weird with all of that, like I used to love clubbing. Like that was my...
I was at 4 nights a week, man.
It was really my life.
Yeah.
And then at some point I just never went back. Like I haven't been in a club since at least 6 years. And I mean, having a kid definitely... Well, and I went sober for 4 years. Like all of that kind of kickstarts the not going to a club thing. But it's weird how these things, like you never realize when was your last time that you were going to do something.
Yeah.
Like when that really good friend that you went to school with, you never knew that last time you said, see you later. That's fucking weird.
Or the last time your parents picked you up and put you back down. It's mad, isn't it?
You never know. And it comes all back to like what we were saying earlier, like you have to enjoy the process, don't you? And it's nice to like think about these things and try and be more intentional in the right directions, but like enjoying the process at the same time.
Yeah. Because
the world's a fucking mess. There's a lot of like shitty things happening, but there's also loads of really cool stuff happening. And we've got access like we've never had before. And there's really cool people out there. Do you know what I mean? Doing really cool things. There's a lot.
Well, I never would have met you if we didn't do podcasts. You know? So it's like
exactly. And how fucking great is that? Like our mutual like passion for podcasting like brought this friendship together. Like it's such a cool thing. Yeah,
but that's how I think you develop the better levels of friendship, with the ones where you can talk. Like the shit that we've said over Messenger, bro. Like my God, like this.
We'll ping some up.
Definitely will not.
Not that way.
We'll definitely
not that last one. No.
But you know what I mean? Like some of the things that's just like, oh, when was the last time you said those things to a friend to someone, and you were truly authentically yourself? Because a lot of the time now we filter ourselves way too much in front of people. I know. And like,
it feels safe with you to say like...
Well, yeah, exactly. But that's how I think a true friendship should be, where people aren't just getting offended by things all the time. But one of the things I did want to talk about, mate, and this is something that people will say about guys like me and you, is
gorgeous men.
Horrendously gorgeous,
gorgeous
handsome,
alpha men.
Yeah,
that's the thing, isn't
alpha
it?
Bros. Yeah.
I'm
alpha bros. I was tempted. I've got the Andrew Tate glasses in the car. I was going to get them.
What are the Andrew Tate glasses?
Like the sort of aviators that he always wears. Why do you think? Because we've talked about the friendship and the authenticity side of it. We've talked about Love Island and soap operas. We've talked about social media, and it wraps it up nicely into, why do you think we all want to be seen more than ever these days?
Well, do we?
A lot of people do.
So what's the question?
Like, why
are we obsessed with...
More so than ever.
I just like throwing the question back.
Do you think it's because we can now be seen by more people? Do you think it's just activated a part of us that was always there? Or
do you think maybe we value being seen more than we used to?
Possibly, but then it would be, why do we value being seen? Or what does being seen give us?
I mean, we definitely, in a world of social media, we definitely, for some reason... Okay. If you go back 40 years, right? Hollywood actors and actresses, singers, sports people, they were all kind of looked up upon, right? They were all like viewed as gods. Yeah. We idolized them. We're the fans and they're the people to follow.
Yes.
And then social media comes along, and now we've got that on social media, but everybody's got the potential to be that.
Yes. There's like a new level of fame has opened up,
And I wonder if somewhere we kind of lost touch of value in itself. So if you see someone's got 100,000 followers, suddenly we find them a bit more credible and valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the person who's only got 20 followers, who's actually got better stuff in whatever genre the profiles are, we don't credit as much.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking shame, because we're all lost touch. We're all following the numbers. And then by seeing that and like constantly perpetuating this bullshit of like high numbers, if we get high numbers, we value ourselves more as well. And suddenly,
like a validation
you know,
thing,
like all that work that I've put into, like I've worked my ass off doing this business and I enjoy the process, right? So I'm super grateful. Thank you, Jesus. And I've got less than 2,000 followers. Would I feel like I've done a better job if I had 100,000? No. Would I like it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking great. Because I know that maybe a potential client wouldn't hesitate as much. If someone wants to have a podcast produced and they're looking at 10 profiles, the one with 100,000, they're like, well, they must be doing something right.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
In terms of like the evolutionary psychology side of it, social proof is a good thing. Like if you like in terms of dating, for example, if a guy's got like a lot of women who like him, he hasn't been with them or they just like him. For other women, that's a good thing. That's a green flag because he's accepted by women. He's not a weirdo. But if he doesn't know any women, he's quite socially recluse. No one knows who he is. It's a little bit of a, I wouldn't say red flag, but maybe it is a little bit of a red flag. They back off a little bit because the social proof is not there.
Society definitely values like popularity, right? And it's probably a safety thing.
But as good as social media is when it comes to things like that, because the more followers, the more people listen to what you have to say. That's nice. That's a good side of social media. But then, if you think about it, where we came from, our little tribes, right? And if you, in your little village, right, 150 people or something like that, whatever it is, Dunbar's number says it is, you've got the town chef, right? You've got the mayor, and you've got the guy that plays the lute, right? And it's like, you knew them. You could see them. That was what you could aspire to be. You could be that lute player because you can see him. You could be that chef because you can see him. But now with social media, you can see the entire world. So you don't think I can be that chef, because that chef is Gordon Ramsay that you see. You're missing that massive gap of people that don't have these followers, that aren't famous. You're not thinking I can be them. You're thinking, well, in order to be a good chef, I have to be Gordon Ramsay. In order to be a good lute player, I have to be fucking Slash. You know, there's this disconnect in our minds where we're seeing the top of the iceberg and we're missing all this in the middle, and it's creating a disconnect with us where we're like, well, I'm never going to be that way. So like, it makes us feel anxious and depressed, and we don't know why.
You know, all those people with the big numbers and the fame and the success that people are striving for. I think if you ask most of them, if they reflect back on their life, it was the process getting there, which was the best part, man.
But it's like, I mean, Gordon Ramsay is a strange example because he kind of he was there before the social media time, right? He worked his ass off to be, you know, he was doing like Kitchen Nightmares and shit. Like Instagram wasn't a thing then, followers weren't a thing then. You had your TV show and that was it, you know. But I think it's interesting.
Sorry, go on.
No, go on. No, I'll let you.
Well, no, it's just that if it wasn't social media, it's popularity in the real world anyway. It's like the kid in school that was the most popular definitely enjoyed being the most popular kid. But who's to say that those that weren't as popular weren't just as content, maybe even more content, because they didn't need the external validation to feel good about themselves. Do you know what I mean? That's why, like, now, if I had a massive following, it would be great, but I wouldn't value it as much as I would have 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago, I would have strived for it. But I don't know where that transition happens in life for people.
Well, I find it weird.
Because some people chase that their whole lives.
I find it weird that we have the term influencers now. Yeah. I find that really weird. Like, what the fuck are they influencing 90% of them? I couldn't tell you. No. Like, oh, they're a public figure. Of what? You know? What do you do other than go on these TV shows? Like, you can say these Love Island people, for example, and I mean, not all of them. Some of them are sound, like, but like some of them, like, you class them as influencers. So, well, what the fuck are you influencing?
Yeah.
What are you at? Like, think of the word, like, to have influence gives you power, right?
It's fucking weird because really what they're influencing is young people, right? They're influencing young people that value influencers. But they don't know why.
Yeah, they just want
It's a numbers thing.
Yeah, they see these numbers and they're like, oh, well, in order to be cool and liked and have a good life, I need this life.
Yeah.
And it's not true. Like, if it will not give you that fulfillment, because again, small world versus big world.
Yeah.
Small world is what we are evolved to be. When, like, I was watching an interview with Martin Freeman. Do you know Martin Freeman? So the Hobbit, Sherlock, all that sort of stuff. And he was saying he was talking about red carpets. And he made an interesting point. He was saying, like, when I'm on the red carpet and everyone's shouting and the lights are going and stuff, he was like, we're not meant for that.
No.
And I agree. We're not meant to see everyone. We're not meant for everyone to see us. We will not evolve any more than we are, because it's not a survival thing now. It doesn't impact our survival.
The irony there with the red carpet, though, is anyone that's on the red carpet has chosen to go on the red carpet.
Yeah.
Because they have another entryway. You can go around the back. You can literally go around the back where you don't have the paparazzi, the red carpet. You just quietly go around the back.
But then that would impact then your, like, if you're an actor and stuff like that, you don't do these red carpets.
Great promotion.
It's like, it's one of those things. It's like it's the trade off is you might as well do the red carpet. It's one of those things that you kind of would just have to do. I suppose.
But thereby getting sucked back into the whole thing. I think as long as you're checking in and you're using it for what it is in a, if possible, healthy way. But I imagine, like, the fame game, like becoming famous on whatever level, right? Whether it's 100,000 followers, 10,000 subscribers, or a Hollywood film, like, I'm sure it's addictive as fuck.
Yeah.
Because that level of dopamine of, like, suddenly there's a lot more yes people, suddenly you've got a lot more access to things, people are sending you stuff. Like, that must be intoxicating on some level.
Yeah.
And if you're not grounded from the beginning, that shit will take you away.
Well, look at the 90% of the child stars that we had, like Macaulay Culkin, Lindsay Lohan, all those. Like,
well, he seems to have come out the other side all right.
He has, yeah.
But a lot of them are knackered.
Yeah.
And not even just the childhood ones, but, like, famous people in general. Like, some of them are just bonkers.
Well, it's like you think, like, a lot of the people that have got fame, and then, like, Robin Williams, for example. Everyone fucking loved Robin Williams, man. Still miserable.
But he was tormented.
Yeah.
And looking back, I think he was probably tormented the whole way through, right?
Yeah.
There's some unresolved shit there.
Just because you're famous and people like you, what's going on internally and your reality isn't what you want it to be,
that's why Jim Carrey brings so much insight, right? Because he puts his hands up and goes, like, that was a character. That wasn't me. That was someone that you wanted, and he played that person because he wanted fame. Yeah. And then at some point in his life, he was like, it's all bullshit. I love listening to Jim Carrey talk about it. Yeah. He's the wackiest, funniest person, and at the same time, he doesn't give a shit. Yeah. I think if you're listening to this and you want to be, you're thinking, I want to be popular. I guess it's like, I think the better way to do is how useful are you to other people? Not like does your followers make you feel good? It's like, is what you're doing with these followers a good thing? Like if you're an influencer, or you influence people in a positive way, or you're saying, hey, you need these Gucci shoes, or you need to be on this TV show, you need to be doing this and hustling and that, or are you helping people with an authentic side to it? Yeah. And enjoy the fucking process. Like, there's no shame in like, some people are, like, designed to motivate and help others, right? In a healthy way, in a great way. And we're lucky to have those people on this planet, and some people aren't. But those people shouldn't get lost in the mix, right? Like, just do you. Don't get lost in all the bullshit. Like, you don't have to be popular or have big numbers for it to mean anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And what you're doing, if social media wasn't a thing, if followers weren't a thing, would you still do as much as you do? Would you, like, say Spotify is still a thing, right? You still listen to music or podcasts or whatever, but, like, you don't get to see the followers. No. You don't get to post on social media.
I kind of love that,
Would you still do it? And it would take a lot of the pressure off too.
I would love it if all, like, YouTube, Instagram especially, just took off all the numbers. Because then it would come down to, like, who's engaging and what does it fucking mean? Like, You would find out how many people give a shit when you're like, oh, sign up to the newsletter at the end of the thing.
That's the thing. But like, if you think about the podcast, the most successful ones, 90% of the time, are the ones that shout the loudest, who are the most controversial. They're not useful, man.
No, they're
like,
not useful.
They're not. There's so many of them, but they're the ones that get popular.
Yeah, the same reason as why the news is always so shit. It's why the news is always so like scandal this and death that, because that's what people will listen to. I don't know why that's like a mistake in the human design for sure.
Well, we like to know that when we're safe. That could be one reason we like to know that we're safe, but it still affects us that we know it's going on. It's a weird paradox of.
It is a weird paradox.
Yeah. But listen, man, I'm out of topics. That was my 4 topics. And
That was
I think
good,
we covered a
right?
lot.
That was okay.
I think
we did okay.
Yeah, we did great. And I think
I didn't get too pissed.
We had. Is there one more down there? There's 2 more down there actually. Should we do? We'll do episode 2 now.
Episode 2. Pudding.
I've always said I want to do like a drunk podcast or like one on mushrooms or something like that. And then I'm just like,
well, the next one I'll bring the mushrooms.
Cool.
For the next one.
I don't know how that's gonna go.
We'll do a microdose. I'll tell you what, it'll feel very similar
to being drunk.
No, to doing the podcast. You enjoy doing podcasts, right?
Yeah,
you get I'm sure if we could I
like getting into the flow of conversation.
If we could take a video projection of your brain during a podcast, we probably see heightened levels of dopamine. Like with the mushroom, it will feel the same. You'll probably just maybe a little bit more. You might be naked by the end of the episode.
I actually have a great guest in mind who could join us with that. Who would also
yeah.
So that would be a cool thing.
I'd like to say we are open to having guests on this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Little 3 ways.
All yeah. On the table.
But listen, man. Look, Heywood, I'm so happy that we organised this. You have a wonderful studio. Remind me of it's because I always get it wrong.
Stuff Podcast.
Because I always say Stuffs for some reason. Stuff Podcast.
Yeah. So this is Stuff Podcast now in Whitley Bay, as part of my business, Heywood and Stuff Productions. I am currently working on 6 or 7 different clients' podcasts.
Amazing.
Producing them, doing the shorts, and always open to do more. I love it. It's great. It's a great thing.
Where can people follow you?
They can follow me on Stuff Podcasts on Instagram, or the website is stuffpodcast.co.uk.
Nice. And you can find me at Adam James Proud on Instagram. It's probably where I'm most active. Or you can search Spotify, Apple for the Above Average podcast, which is based in South Shields. So this is North Shields. This is class as North Shields.
Yeah. Whitley Bay, North Shields. Yeah.
So you're like you're like the Don of North Shields, and I'll be the Don of South Shields. That's how we'll do it. We'll dominate the podcast in Shields. In both the rough and the shit. But thank you very much for listening, guys. We do plan on doing these
every last Friday.
Every last Friday of the month, yeah. So there will be bits of gaps, but obviously you can check out Heywood's podcast himself, and you can check out mine as well if you want more from us. And until the next one, guys, take care, and we will see you very, very soon.
Charles.
Cheers.